If you could talk a little about Sam Cooke, because I never, maybe because I was in England growing up, but I never, and then he probably passed away before I could
Oh,
remember
he
even
passed
hear
away
him
before
sing.
any of us. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but a lot of people talk about him almost as if he was both a singer and a civil rights leader. But what was what made him stand out compared to other singers? Because they don't we don't. I mean, Danny Hoffway is another person that we tend to get
Yeah.
a lot of people rave about him, but
Yeah.
Sam
He
Cooke
was
in
another
particular,
great singer.
what was it about him?
Well, I believe it was, like I said again, his tone, his sound. Um, when I was a kid, as I got older, I realized that him, Sam Cooke, Muhammad Ali, and Malcolm X and them, those guys were buddies.
Wow.
They were friends. You know what I mean? They were, and some of that stuff I didn't know until I saw the movies. You know, I was looking at Ali and I was like, wait a minute, that's, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so I remember when that movie Ali was shot with Will Smith playing
Yeah. Okay,
Ali.
that one. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and I was thinking to myself, like, wait a minute, hold on, that's right. Sam Cooke, Malcolm X, and Muhammad Ali, they were homies. You know what I mean? And you think
Mm.
about what was going on in this country at that
Yeah.
time with the civil rights movement and everything like that. And I was just thinking Sam Cooke was one of the first people to ever own publishing,
Wow.
had his own publishing company. Okay.
Wow.
Nobody had done that. Not even the white pop singers had their own publishing at that time. The
Wow.
labels owned all that stuff. So he was the first for that. But it was almost like when you think of the times, and this goes for Marvin pretty much, the What's Going On, biggest album.
Yeah.
But those guys, they sang about things from a different place.
Mm.
You know what I mean? It's like when you think about Change Gonna Come, you think about he wrote that song. Martin Luther King Jr. had just got killed. Malcolm X had just got killed.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And then those songs mean more than just, oh, he sounds amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this
Yeah.
is what he was singing about. You know what I mean? It's just like
Yeah.
the uncertainty of being a colored person at that time. That's why when you hear him saying, you know what I mean? It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die, not knowing what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long, long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Martin was talking about that, remember? I may not get to the mountain. Remember,
Yeah. Yeah.
so it was like all that was entwined. They were singing about what they lived. That's why I believe those songs had so much more passion and meaning than some of the songs we sing today. Now we sing about how much diamond. So I got all the money in the world. I got the best looking women with the best bodies, the best cars. You know what I mean? Not to take away from, some of the talent of nowadays, but those guys were singing, David Ruffin, those guys
Mm.
were singing about, when they sang about love, man, love was tough back then because, to be a man anyway, to take care of your family and support a family was tough. And to be a man
Yeah.
of color here was even tougher because how they divided the family. So when those dudes sang about love, they meant it. They didn't
Yeah.
have all these options. It wasn't like, hey man, look, I'm gonna go play football and have all the women in the world. Those weren't options back then. And it was like, I'm gonna work, I'm gonna be a garbage man, I'm gonna work a mechanic, I'm gonna work in the shop. And if you lose those jobs, how are you gonna maintain the family? How are you gonna keep, you see what I'm saying? So when they sang about love and they sang about hurt, it came from a different place. Our hurt is not the kind of hurt that they sing about. Our love is different because back then when a man got with a woman, like I said, the options weren't the same. When you
Mm.
loved a woman back then, you loved a woman. It
Mm.
wasn't like, hey, I love her tonight. I'm not saying there were perfect guys back then,
Yeah.
but it's just like, you know what I mean? Wasn't no music videos, wasn't all these opportunities to go out there and make wealth and all this kind of stuff to have all these options. So people didn't travel, no internet. So when I listened to the way they sang, that's what I said. You have to, it's like an actor. I think some of the guys, and well, not just guys, some of the artists pay more attention to tricks in their vocals, the runs,
Mm.
when those singers back then, Gladys Knight is one of my favorite, Aretha Franklin, when they sang about stuff, it wasn't about, it was the passion. You hear it when you listen to them, you listen to those
Yeah. Yeah.
vocals, listen
Yeah.
to the
Yeah.
vocals
Yeah.
today, you go, but it was different times, different situations. And that's why I always try and draw from life. You got to, not fantasy world where, I'm this guy who got it all going on. My life's perfect. I said, you have to sing first about substance. Okay. And I know I went way off your question, but that's what made Sam Cooke. That's what made Sam Cooke so amazing to me, because he sang about what was happening.
Yeah.
And he made you feel it. Same like Marvin did with what's going on. It was like, he wasn't just singing about how good life was for him and, he was singing about what's going, the wars, the hatred, the slaughter, the unrest. And that's, to me, what separated Sam Cooke and those type singers from everybody else.
I guess growing up in Berkeley then, compared to those in the South, was the segregation still happening then? Because you're listening to this and then you're living in an environment. What was it like for you growing up then out in Northern California?
Well, for me, naturally, it was nothing like the South. When I say it was, the South truly can't compare to nothing else at that time. But we had our stuff too, because the Black Panthers and all that came right out of Berkeley and Oakland. That's right there. Remember Oakland and Berkeley?
Yeah.
Connected. The Black Panthers and them. That's, that was the movements that was going on at that time. You had that segregated thing everywhere.
Okay.
Like I said, I didn't come along quite. It was almost, I was at the end of, how when it was that bad.
Yeah.
Some of my older siblings saw it a little bit more. Of course, my parents saw it a lot more, but we were raised different. You were raised, to be respectful and, and to be kind and all these things, because the scales were tipped against you if you're a person of color. But I thank God for the favor. I never had those really racist upbringings. And Berkeley is a very diverse city. Like I said, again, it's like Amsterdam. I'm not saying it didn't exist, but it wasn't anything like the South. Yeah, it was more or less like, you had neighbors that, you've seen people in Berkeley, they'll hug a tree. Okay. It's love or hate. It's just like they'll tie themselves to a tree before they let you cut it down if they love it that much. But then you have the ones who hate everything. So I was fortunate and blessed enough to be in the city to where people was truly it was well balanced.
Okay. Then when did you then get into saying, okay, I actually want to take this singing seriously?
I've always, ever since, again, we would be driving on vacation from Berkeley to Louisiana. It's a long ride. Back then, it took you like 3 days. My dad would be driving, all of us in the car, and my siblings would all be tired, sleepy, and I would be, I'm the youngest, so I would be able to go in the front seat with my dad, and he'd be like, "Okay, you gonna keep me up while we drive?" Yeah. But he had 8-tracks back then. That was the 8-track tapes. So he would have in the Al Green, Sam Cooke, Marvin Gaye, Temptations. They'd be on one 8-track tape, and on the other 8-track tape, you'd have the Mighty Clouds of Joy, the Gospel Keynotes, the 7 Blind Boys of Alabama. You know what I mean? Because he was a gospel. My dad was a gospel quartet guy. But
yeah.
He had everything. So as we're riding through all these, Texas, which took forever to get through, Mississippi, New Mexico, I'm listening to all this music and stuff. And when Sam Cooke would come on, I would just go like, I want to do that. More so him, even then when I saw the Jackson 5, I loved Michael Jackson and all that. He was a kid, but it was just like Sam Cooke is the one who made me want to sing. It was just like, if I can make people feel like he's making me feel right now, I would do that. And of course my dad was an amazing singer. So watching him sing and seeing how people reacted to him too, I always go, wow, in church and stuff. And I go, wow, that's a gift. I would love to be able to, move people emotionally like that. So it just was something I think me and my brothers, this is what we're going to do. You never thought like it wasn't going to happen. I'm the one who stuck with it as we got older.
Yeah.
Actually went into it for a career, but I always knew ever since I was singing, I've always loved it. Yeah, I've always loved it.
Hey, thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. If you loved what you watched, There's over 100 artists that we've interviewed, so please check out the videos. Remember to like, share, how not unsubscribe, but better still, become a member of Halftime Chat and get exclusive videos ahead of time. But thanks for watching. Take care.